Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look and installing the Furrion Vision S camera system. Now ours today, we have the 4.3 inch screen, but it's also available in larger ones depending on what kind of display that you want. And this is going to be a great addition to your RV or camper for backing up, security, and being able to see who's behind you on the highway. A lot of times when you're backing up, you're blind firing or needing someone to guide you. Well, let the camera do all the work by showing you exactly where you need to back up and giving that security function. So I'm going to show you how to get this installed on a factory prep style. If you're looking to add this onto your own RV that's not prepped with this shark fin bracket, we have other videos available online to show you how to do that. But this is going to be a great addition to your camping experience. Now, I've mentioned for backing up, it's really helpful, but also this is going to be something that's neat because there is sound that is recording from that camera. So it also becomes a security function. It has a motion sensor. It'll pick up on anything walking by, and it can send alerts to wake up. That way you can see immediately what's out there, whether it's an animal or a person. And that's why not only is this just a rear camera, but also you can put it on your door. So that way you can see who's at the door. It's just kind of like having the comforts of home. You may have a security camera doorbell at your house. This can kind of fill that need. So along with that, this is waterproof. It's got 120 degrees of angle, so it's really going to cover a wide spread. So a lot of great things. Now, as far as resolution, we're coming in at 720, and by no means is that going to be mind-blowing in the world of technology, but for what we're using it for, this is definitely good quality. As you can tell, you can see that we have a Maverick that we're working on as a flat tow, and really all the details of stuff. Now, if you wanted a higher resolution screen that's really got that nice camera for all those details and a little bit smoother motion, they do offer the Furrion Vision S Plus, and that's kind of the newest, latest, and greatest that has a ton of different features. We have that available here at eTrailer, but for a simple backup camera that acts as a security, I think the Vision S is really a great option. It's been a tried and true system that a lot of the OEs end up using. So if it's good enough for the OEs, generally it's going to be a great option for you adding this on aftermarket. Now, something else that's really neat is that mic. Being able to hear doesn't seem like something important, except when you are backing up, if you needed that spotter, they can simply talk. You can hear it in that display. So that's going to make it nice and easy. No yelling back and forth. And speaking of distance and yelling, this thing has a serious distance of 492 foot. So it sends that signal really, really far. So if you're worried, is it going to reach that monitor in your vehicle? It absolutely will. Now, as far as night vision goes, that's accomplished with the LEDs that are around here. There's 8 of them, and that's going to illuminate up to 16 foot. So enough distance to where you can see at least what's there, and enough for when you're backing up. Now, something I will say is you can hook this up directly to your reverse light. That way when you hit reverse, it's going to kick onto that. Or in the way that we did it, our running lights, which generally when you are towing, you should have your running lights on to keep yourself noticeable on the road. So that way, if you do need to get over and you're not sure if someone's tailing behind you, you could turn on those running lights and be able to see immediately. Now, with that resolution, as I said earlier, the Vision S Plus does a few more things, and that's going to be the refresh rate to where it's going to be a lot quicker. So that's something with this one. There is a slight delay, but if you're slowly backing up or just looking for a quick snapshot of what's there, this is going to do a fantastic job. So if you're looking to add a camera to your door or the rear of your RV, the Furrion Vision S has been around for quite a bit, and it's tried and true. So I think it's really easy. I mean, ours was simply just 4 screws and a plug, and that was it. So it's definitely an addition that you're really going to love. The first time you go to back up and you have that camera ready to go, I think you're going to be really happy. Adding the camera system to your RV is super easy. The first thing that you want to check though is if you're already prepped. You might have noticed this shark fin bracket. This is from Furrion, and this also allows for a lot of different universal camera mounting as it's kind of a universal style. Now, if you don't have this bracket, not to worry. The camera system, when you pick it up, will actually have it pre-installed. So that really makes it nice. You'll have everything you need, including the gasket, to get it all sealed up. But from the factory, they already have it drilled in with screws, and they seal it up, at least on ours today. So if that's the case for you, it'll be a little bit easier by just removing this cover. We just have 4 Phillips head screws, and taking this out, we'll be able to leave this top portion, but still be able to get everything connected as necessary. And with those screws out, we'll just pop this portion. There's kind of a notch, and that's eventually where the antenna will go. And we'll just set our cover aside and take a look at what wiring we have. So again, this is prepped for us. If you don't have this, it does come with all the wiring to get that attached. But if you do, this is going to be such an easy install. You'll be having a backup camera in no time. So we'll find that we have this plug, and it's got a cap in there. And we have our camera. Now ours obviously is already mounted up to this factory style. So for our application, we'll get this camera separated so we can bolt it up and plug it in. If yours isn't prepped like this, it's really not too bad. You're essentially going to be drilling a hole to route out your power and ground wires, and that way you can eventually tap that in to your plug. And this is also included. So if you weren't prepped, you could run this in. There's, I believe, 6 foot, so you can run to that power and ground. But here we also have that similar style plug. We'll be using just a quick plug-in that's attached to our camera to go directly into this. If you are prepped, again, super easy. So I'll get my screws taken out, and then I'm going to plug it in and then tighten it back down. We just have this jack-style connector. That snaps in, holds it in nice and tight. So at this point, I'm just going to kind of feed my wires back up to where we have space for this camera to live. And once we get that to a spot where we have space, we'll just put our screws back in. So now we just need to get our antenna screwed on, and that just threads on here. And you're probably using a ladder to get this installed. But now keep the ladder here because we're going to want to play around with the angles to get it dialed in. And there's also a pairing button on the bottom of the camera. So as we plug in the monitor, we're going to want to press that. So just have your ladder ready to go. With that being said, let's grab our monitor, head in the vehicle, and see how it's working. Now here we have our monitor, and this is the 4.3 inch. There's also a 5 inch available. This works out really well. We have a 4Runner right now with a small camper, but if you had a much larger dash and more room to get everything mounted up, you could go with that larger screen. It's all going to be roughly about the same to get installed. We have a suction mount, and this is going to just pop in and allow us to get this mounted up on our windshield. Our antenna is going to be right here. And it also comes with the 12-volt supply. So on the back, we just have this little 90 jack. We'll push that in. And now we just need to get a cigarette-style outlet. Now that's something that might get tricky depending on your vehicle, is sometimes we really don't have these much anymore. It seems like everything's going to USB. So let's plug this in to get power. So this kicks on as soon as we turn the key on. We have no signal. That's totally fine because we need to do the pairing process. So on the side, we have a menu button in the center. We'll press that, and it's going to bring up this screen. At this point, we can go to the pairing, and I'm going to select this. There's a P. Something else that we noticed is a lot of times that power is coming off of the running light signal. So I'm going to turn my running lights on, and from here on our screen, oh, ours already paired up. But to do that pairing process, you would just simply push the menu, pairing, and then you would push the button until you get that connection. You can see right away we have some bars that make sure that you have your antennas up. So it's working properly. You get a nice shot of our shop here. But let's play around with it and see. If I was backing up, I can push P for parking lines, so that's really nice. And then let's see what else we got here. So setup. Going through here, we're going to use the power button as our source. You can do a mirror function, so let's take a look. You can flip, you can rotate, so depending on how that camera is mounted, if it's upside down, you can rotate that and it's not going to cause any issues. We also have volume, auto dimming, and turning the LCD on and off. So we'll take a look at that real quick. and it's an auto shutoff. So that's really cool. You know, not all the time do you necessarily need your camera, especially going down the highway. So you can set it for a timer based on when it'll power down. Another thing that you're going to want to do is find out where you want this mounted up in your vehicle. I'm going to put ours right below the rear view camera. Once that suction cup is already sticking, I can press my latch down, and that's really going to hold that in place. It's super solid, in fact, really solid. So from here, it's really nice because as you're backing that camera up, or that camper up in a campsite, especially if you get there at night, it's going to be difficult to see exactly where you're going, and bumping into something is going to ruin your whole weekend. So being able to see what you're doing is going to keep you safe, but also having night vision too is going to be fantastic because, again, there's no reverse lights on a trailer. So as you're backing up, you're not really going to be able to see a whole lot. Having night vision means that you have eyes on the back of your RV. So that was a look and a quick installation of the Furrion Vision S rear camera system for your RV.